Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how I watercolor with an AquaPainter. To start off, I'm going to stamp repeatedly my background image onto my card base. I'm using frames with a flourish and not quite navy ink. I'm going to stamp the image from Serene Spring in basic gray ink. I've mentioned before I prefer to watercolor with basic gray ink because I've never had an issue with it smearing. Starting on the flower pot, I'm going to use some creamy caramel ink, and I'm going to start with the lightest base of the color. I'm right-handed, and for some reason whenever I watercolor, I always tend to leave my highlights to the right side of the image. I'm just pulling in some darker, more concentrated color. If you notice, the white space towards the right is my highlight. Now I'm going to use some Baja Breeze ink for the bird. I'm going to use some pink pirouette for the flowers and then follow up with Riding Hood red ink. And basically I'm just going around the outline of each of the tiny little flowers. It takes some time and patience, but I really find watercoloring very relaxing. Now I'm going to use some Kiwi Kiss ink for the leaves and the grass. And for a pop of color, I'm going to use some Tangerine Tango on the butterfly. On this one, I'm going to use some Going Gray ink to give some shadow. I also like to use Sahara Sand at times and Bashful Blue, just a nice light color. It just makes your image pop out from the paper. I'm going to use a Summer Sun marker to color in the bird's beak. And as you've seen, I've just created a mask around my image so that I could sponge some ink around it. Now I'm going to use my color spritzer tool with not quite navy ink just to add a little splash of color. And now I'm going to add some paper piercing around my main image. I'm going to use some snail adhesive so I can adhere this to a piece of Kiwi Kiss cardstock. I'm going to tie on a chocolate chip bow using the 5/8 inch ribbon. And if you leave your ribbon nice and flat, it ties better. I use some dimensionals on the back of this layer to attach it to my card. And I'll finish it off with a button in the corner. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and please visit me at igotstamps.com.